On this side of the pond in Nevada, a grim discovery, a body found on the shore of Lake Mead, just outside of Las Vegas. Boaters found a man's body over the weekend inside this corroded barrel. Authorities have determined he was murdered sometime between 40 and 50 years ago. And the ongoing severe drought in that area is leading to even more discoveries in the water. While on that scene, one of NewsNation's investigative teams discovered a second barrel near the site of the first, reported it to police, and police say that second barrel, thankfully, was empty. But David Charn joins us live now. So, David, you actually discovered that second barrel. What were you doing when you found it?
Yeah, Nichole, sort of an odd and eerie story. So we were out there doing the story on the first barrel that was found over the weekend. That barrel had already been taken to the coroner's office here so they could try to identify the remains inside of it. So we were on the beach there. We saw where it was. There was some debris left over. It was pretty obvious where it was. And then my photographer says, okay, well, there's another barrel several hundred yards just down the way there, down the shore. So he's getting video. You know how it is. The reporters are sort of waiting around as the photographers are doing their thing. I go over and there's this 55-gallon drum barrel stuck in the mud just down the way from the other barrel. And it was sort of odd. There was a little hole in it, so we were able to take a flashlight, look in. We didn't see anything. We're sort of worried we might see something a little gruesome looking back at us, but we informed police. I informed my sources at the police department. They did check it out, and as you mentioned, that barrel was in fact empty, but certainly odd because these barrels seem to just be popping up in our lake here.
Yeah, pretty scary, pretty disturbing there, David. What was your reaction, when your photographer spotted it, and then what did police say when you reported that to them?
Yeah, well, I wish my photographer had gotten my reaction on camera because I was pretty jumpy around there trying to look at this. And the police sort of laughed it off a bit, but they did go and they checked it out. They did open it up, and there was nothing in it. We were concerned because the barrels, they've been stuck in the mud, so you can only really see down to a certain level. And these are like 55-gallon drum oil barrels. And they're full of water because they're up to the water level. So we didn't really know. I was happy to hear that there was no one in it when police told us that.
Well, so David, what's next in this investigation? We know that, there was this body discovered, believed to have been murdered, 40 to 50 years ago. What's next in that investigation?
Right. So police need to figure out who this person is, and that's going to take some time. Right now, they're trying to figure out if there's any sort of DNA evidence that they can pull from this, basically what was skeletal remains with some clothing. But the detectives tell me that they suspect that more bodies are going to pop up in the next decades, maybe years, because our lake is receding. This area where these barrels are being found was a half-mile out into the lake when this barrel would have been dropped in the 70s or 80s. So that just gives you an idea. And as we've reported here locally in Las Vegas, and I'm sure you've heard around the country, there are a lot of stories about some misdeeds here in the Las Vegas area from a prior time involving a prior group of people that were dumping bodies, particularly with cement blocks and cement barrels, in the lake. And as the lake recedes, they might be popping up. Nichole?
Yeah, we'll certainly see what else is discovered. David Charns, thank you for that. Thank you for watching. Click the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.